Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. I'm Koby. Mike's here. What's going on?
Hey man, what's up, man? We have a special one today, man, because the
Mm,
Cleveland Browns did
mm,
their thing in the draft, man. I think everybody was kind of saying that the Browns had one of the best draft classes of the season so far. So we're going to dive into all the picks that the Browns made. But first, we want to dive into some comments that we received recently on our episodes. So the first one is from Dante Payne 8620. He gave the Commanders draft class a B minus. Um, I responded back to him saying that it was fair because I do get it. We did start off with a bang with Sonny Styles and followed that up with Antonio Williams at wide receiver. But then later, we also had some questionable picks with drafting a quarterback in the seventh round who does not fit the type of quarterback that we have as our starter and our backup. So I do get a B minus. I did give him an A just because I think that Adam Peters did a lot with little. But I do get that comment. So thank you, Dante, for posting that. And then we have another from Everything Shermez. He said, responding to the Laramie Tunsil reaction video, that the docuseries was fire and left LT and his team gets it. So I do agree. Commented that I think that they should probably hire his videography team as the team's personnel, because he really did a good job with all the graphics and everything, and the music as well. Kind of seemed like a music video at times, but definitely a good episode that Laramie Tunsil put out. So thank you for your comment as well. So yeah, man, Cleveland Browns, we don't really know what to expect from them sometimes, but I mean, I
yeah,
think they knocked this draft out of the park and gave us some drama with some trades as well.
yeah. Ever since we got rid of Paul DePodesta, who was, kind of running things, but he's a business guy. But him and the Haslams both were kind of in there making football decisions, and that's not really what they're supposed to be doing. They hire Andrew Berry as GM. He should be the one making all the football related decisions. So last year was his first year uh, kind of running the show, and I think we knocked last year's draft out of the park. I mean, some might be a miss, like the whole Dylan Gabriel thing is whatever. Like, you can't hit on every draft pick. You don't know. But man, was Andrew Berry cooking this year,
Mm-hmm.
wheeling and dealing. Um, I feel like we weren't just doing moves to do them. I feel like everything we did had direction. I feel like we didn't reach on anybody. We got the guys we wanted where we wanted, and I I try not to get excited. I mean, all these guys
Yeah.
are rookies. They haven't really stepped foot on the field yet. But I do like the promise this draft class has, and like in moving forward. So
Yeah, man, and let's open this up a little bit. So when when you saw the draft get down to the sixth pick, how did you feel when you got that when you saw, because we were live, that the Browns decided to trade out of that position and go down to number 9, trading with the Chiefs?
my obviously 2 first round picks. You have to address needs. I wanted a a wide receiver and an offensive lineman. I didn't care if it was a tackle, a center, a guard, whatever. Like we made some offseason acquisitions. I just want bodies, big bodies
Mhm.
for the offensive line. So so what happened? Carnell Tate going at 4, kind of gets the wide receiver market going a little bit. And listen, Carnell Tate, an Ohio State Buckeye. Um, I didn't really want Carnell Tate.
Mhm.
I kind of liked that he went off the board at 4. I was really hoping
Mhm.
for Jordan Tyson, who I feel is like a true number one. We're sitting there at 6. We make this trade with the Chiefs to move back to 9. They go defense. You guys go Sonny Styles. And then there's the New Orleans Saints sitting at 8. We're like, oh boy, they kind of need a little bit of everything here. And they take Jordan Tyson at 8. So I'm like, all right, well, there's like I wanted a receiver, like I said, but I wanted a big body receiver. Jordan Tyson fits that perfectly. But then who I think we probably still would have took at 6, moved back to 9, and still take Spencer. Man, that was a great pick. And you know, they cut to his draft party. He's jumping up and down, acting like a fool. There's a video that comes out later. He jumps in his pool. He says, "I'm a dog." He starts barking. I'm like, this dude's a clone. Like, we drafted not only the number one offensive lineman in this draft, we got a number one cornball.
Right.
But obviously the talent's there. He's at a press conference and they ask him about that. Like, you're big into anime, Pokemon, all this stuff. Like, whatever, that's fine. Myles Garrett is big into that stuff too. And then he gave an all-time answer. He said, there is no better feeling than moving a guy from point A to point B against his will. And to me, that just means like when dude's on the field, like that's it.
You gotta
like
move him out the way.
You're just not getting past him, and that's something we desperately need to pair him up with all those other guys we signed. I actually, that pick at number 9, I would say is an A+ pick.
Yeah, and I was looking. Speaking about that trade, I was looking at the ESPN dropped the pick is in episode, and you spoke about it. Your GM, when it got to pick number 6, he said that his guys that he was looking at was Spencer Fano, Jordan Tyson, and Francis Mainoa, the other tackle. So he said either way, they were going to grab one of those guys at pick number 9. So he didn't mind trading back. But it does shows that he, definitely had a plan. He knew the guy that he wanted to get. So it did look like they were leaning towards Jordan Tyson, because even when he went off the board, he was like, "Oh man, like they got Jordan Tyson." So it looked like he was kind of leaning that way. But I mean, you can't knock him for getting Spencer Fano, arguably the best tackle in the draft. I mean, they were just showing clips of him. He's going from one defensive player blocking him, then moving on to the next.
Yeah.
He just, like you said, he moves guys, has good feet. So yeah, definitely a great start to the Browns draft by getting somebody that can protect the QB. And then you follow that up with, I want to know your feelings on this pick, because when it first came in, you were like, I don't know, but tell me what you thought about that 24th overall pick.
So like I said, offensive lineman, wide receiver, those were the 2 needs. And then we're looking, so 24 comes in, obviously Casey's there, Denzel Boston's there, Omar Cooper's there. And I'm like, okay, this has to be Omar Cooper. I was like, Denzel Boston, I don't know if he is quite like first round potential. So I was thinking it might be Omar Cooper, who is also a big body receiver. And then they come out and they said, wide receiver. I'm like, I get excited. Casey Concepcion. And I was like, okay. That was a position of need. I don't hate it. I don't love it because of his size. That's it. He's extremely talented. He's elite route running. He's got all the elusiveness, the quickness, all that stuff. A little bit of drop issues apparently, but you can work on that. So I was a little disappointed, but I was like, hey, we're going offense now. We're starting to fill in. So we started with an A+. This pick at the time, I would say B-. So
yeah, I agree. At the time, I was just like, oh, I don't know, because we had spoke before, and I know you said that the Browns already had some players that they could put in the slot. So I was like, okay, they need a bigger type receiver to put on the outside. So when they drafted KC, I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
So but KC is good after the catch, just kind of where he does his thing. He's great after the catch. Like you said, he has some times where he can drop the ball, but once he does catch it, he is elusive. He can get up the field quickly. So seeing how the draft continued to go, it made me like this pick a lot more.
Yeah.
So, and next, I mean, we could get in right into it. This was kind of a shocker for me because I didn't expect them to double up. But what was your feelings about pick 39?
So pick 39, leading up to the draft, we've been hearing all this talk about secondary help and how Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is the guy on the list. So I was like, okay, 39, this has to be him. I'm kind of surprised he's still there. And I'm like, there's no way they're doubling up on receiver. And then, bam, Denzel Boston, big 6'4" receiver from Washington State. And I'm like, okay, now you're pairing Denzel with KC. Now you kind of have something cooking. This is where Andrew Berry starts getting in that bag. And I'm like, I'm sorry for doubting that first pick. Like, if this was the plan all along, get KC when you can, think you can get Denzel. Like, that's now we're getting needs. So now that B minus pick I said at 24, I'm moving that up to a B, maybe a B plus, and this Denzel Boston pick is probably a B or a B plus also. So
I agree. I mean, pairing those two up, giving the quarterback, whoever that decides to be, we'll dive into that a little bit later on, but giving them two sure weapons, one on the slide, one on the outside, was fantastic to me. So just starting off the draft with protection and then weapons. You already have a great up and coming tight end that you kind of was getting started last season. Your running back room is always has some good players back there. So this offense, man, so far is looking like we're going to be improved next season. But I definitely like this pick at 39, doubling up, and for the value as well. A lot of people thought that Boston would not be there at 39, especially when the second round started. I thought Denzel Boston was probably going to be one of the first few picks that was taken, but for them to get him at 39 was great to me. So great value there. And another value pick was one you mentioned. You was able to get Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at pick number 58 is crazy to me. I had him going in the first round, and he slid.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, and he slid all the way to 58. So tell me how you feel about that pick.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think we traded up to 58 with like some of the picks that we got from the Kansas City trade to move back to 9. So this is what I mean. Like, if you're letting Andrew Berry just handle his football responsibilities, these are the results you get. Yeah, I believe they're already calling him EMW. I don't know. I've heard a couple things like, but yeah, to get him at 58 here is crazy. I saw mocks where someone had us taking him at 6, which I thought was a little crazy. I did see some people having us take him at 24, but I think I don't think he dropped for like, anything on the field, like anything like personality or like talent wise. I just don't think there was a lot of need for secondary. So I think you kind of started getting into the offensive lineman trend, like right around this part of the draft where everybody was starting to, get their tackles and guards and whatnot. So, so naturally he just fell a little bit. And I think they saw the perfect spot to move back up and get him. And I'm going to give that's an A pick right there. If you actually look at our first 4 picks, 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, those are 4 first round talent picks.
Yep. 4 first round talent picks, 4 starters. I mean, just so far, I mean, you can't the Browns could do no wrong so far in the draft. And I mean, they followed that up with another 2 offensive linemen. So it's like, you can tell where their focus was. They didn't lose sight of that. The later they got into the draft, they stayed with protecting their quarterback, and they signed Austin Barber from Florida, a tackle, and then Parker Brasford, center from Alabama. So to speak about how they, continue to address a big need that they had.
Yeah, and I think any point in the draft, we hit our needs, and now we're getting depth. There's just something about like those SEC boys, like going back to back, just big bodied dudes. I mean, like that's your protection, whether it's Deshaun or Shador, whoever. This offense on paper is already light years ahead of what we had last year with depth and talent. So I had just on this page right here, what we're looking at, that's an A draft.
Yep. And they kept it going later in the. You got your Justin Jefferson, man.
We got Jay Jettas in the 5th.
Yep, got Jay Jettas in the 5th at 149. Picked up a tight end, Royer from Cincinnati. That might be probably another depth piece, I guess, because you definitely have a great tight end already. Then Taylon Green, one of the athletic freaks that was in the NFL Combine. This was another good pick. I think
love this pick.
Yeah, tell me how you feel about this.
We talked about it when, like an old episode, when we did hire Todd Monken, how he's worked with like Lamar, and obviously Lamar is an elite talent. I don't think Coach Monken really developed him much. Like I think he already had the skill set there, and I remember leading up to the draft, I was like, Taylon Green has to be on our radar because of Monken. I was like, we're not going to get him on like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or like anything crazy like that. And I was like, man, if he's still there in like the 6th or 7th round, and I'm not saying he's going to win the starting job either, but dude's 6'5", like 240, ran a 4.4, 4.3. If Todd Monken brought anything over from the Baltimore scheme, like there could be a couple packages where you could get him on the field. I don't know if we could I know we were running a lot of Wildcat last year with Judkins when Stefanski was here, but you could run something like that with Taylon Green. Get him and a couple running backs, or him and KC in the backfield. You have a lot of explosiveness back there. I love that pick. I mean, he's not a day one start. He might not be a starter at all. I don't know, but a great late round pick. They're low risk, high reward type situation. So I love that pick.
Yeah, I think he's a really good developmental quarterback, and like you said, even if he doesn't get any playing time, you can probably develop him enough that you can trade him eventually for a draft pick or two. So I like that pick as well. And then capping off the draft with Carson Ryan, tight end from BYU. Just a solid draft by the Cleveland Browns, man. Definitely cooking, like you said.
I was going to get a T-shirt made, 2026 NFL Draft Champions, but
hey, man, you gotta win at some point, man. But speaking about winning, who do you think is going to win the quarterback battle?
Oh man, I don't know. Here's the thing: like, you paid Deshaun all this money, and when he was playing, he did have some games where he looked great. Like not like his old form where he was with the Texans, like, MVP type season stuff, but he was putting us in positions to win football games. Now, Shador, he made some nice throws and stuff last year, but he also made some of the worst throws I have ever seen in my life. But he was a rookie quarterback. That's going to happen. Now we've got this new coaching staff here. He's been I'm sure he's been practicing, getting better, putting the work in. So who's going to win the job? I don't know. Like, on one hand, you gave Deshaun all this money. You might as well play him. But, and maybe let Shador, I guess learn from him. I don't know. But then you had your rookie quarterback who you threw out there last year that showed a little bit promise. But I don't know. Whoever it is, with all the upgrades we've made to this offense, like a revamped offensive line, adding more weapons, I do think both quarterbacks are in line to improve from last time we saw them. The thing with Shador, he struggled with like reading zones, but was throwing beautiful passes like man-to-man coverage. And if you don't think Denzel Boston's going to be, generating one-on-ones 40 yards down the field, and Shador just gets that thing close to him, but Deshaun can make those plays too. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be, and honestly, I just want to win. And like I said, like both of these guys are in a better situation than the last time we saw them. So, we got the new coaching regime. Everything's brand new right now. So we're only going up from here.
Yeah. And it's good that both of the quarterbacks have a lot to prove. Deshaun, coming back from injury and all of the drama he was in, has a lot to prove. And Shador as well. He still has, a chip on his shoulder that he's trying to, overcome. So should be a great QB battle throughout the summer. And I agree, just the best man should win. It shouldn't be the Shador hype or the Deshaun money thing that drives it. Whoever's the best QB should win the job. But give an overall grade of where, even free agency as well. Just where do you see the Cleveland Browns off season? What do you grade that overall?
It's an A. We went into the off season and all we did was sign offensive linemen. Just boom, 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 boom. Four experienced offensive linemen. We're adding depth because I don't know what it is. Every year, offensive linemen drop for us like nothing. We're playing third and fourth stringers week 5. So our biggest need, we hit it hard in free agency, and then we hit it a little bit more with more depth in the draft. We added some playmakers, and man, I just saw a thing today that the Browns are projected to have the 4th easiest schedule next year. They had the hardest or second hardest schedule last year. Now, I'm not saying, we're on, like we're going to make the playoffs or anything like that, because at the end of the day, we're the Cleveland Browns. But, man, I am jazzed up for this new team. And let me get into Coach Monk in here a little bit. I'll let you know what kind of guy we're working with. So every year, I forget who hosts it, but they get all the head coaches together and they do like their cookout and everything, and they take their big group picture. And there's always like a not pictured, and I forget who it was. There was 2 people. I don't know the one, and the other one was head coach Todd Monk. And I was like, what's this dude doing? Like, he had a press conference and they asked him about it, and he said he was getting a sick haircut. He said he didn't really give a damn about the dinner. They changed the time, and the time they moved it to, he was getting a haircut. And he's like, and he said, I don't give a shit. I don't care. And now they're at their practice facilities in Berea, which is kind of like, it's not like downtown city or anything. They're having their voluntary camps. They're out, players are out there working, putting the work in. They got music blasting from the speakers, and some of the neighbors and stuff in the area said that the music's too loud. And he said, well, if it's a problem, move. We're cranking it up louder. And they cranked it up louder. Like, he's just a football guy. He doesn't care about all this other stuff. So I don't know. Like, I wasn't sure on the hire at first, but dude just wants to win and loves football, and that's good with me.
Yeah, I like that kind of energy, man. That, you don't give a F type of energy. Something that I think the Cleveland Browns will need going into the season. You kind of want that that type of energy. So yeah, man. A lot is looking up for Cleveland, man. We will see, especially in a competitive division. Who knows, man? The Steelers might take a couple steps back. Ravens, they always seem to struggle or have some injury issues. So who knows what that division is going to look like? Cincinnati is Cincinnati. Offense will be great. Defense is going to be trash. So, hey, man, who knows? We will see. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for the Cleveland Browns. Great draft class. And thanks again for joining us and supporting the channel. You can hit that subscribe button so the next time we go live or we drop another episode. Leave us a like and comment as well, and we will definitely feature it on our next episode. Until next time, peace.
See you guys.